The CEO is talking about the Twitch stuff right now. Really? Dan's on?
Don't think would be good for us in our community would be to have people working with a third-party ad network burning in 3 minutes of ads into their stream. We don't think that's good for the experience. It's not good for us. And so, that's something we've always prohibited. But we've never been clear about the separation. And we were updating the TOS and the contracts. And we thought, let's provide some clarity here. And then, to be frank, as we wrote it, it was way too broad. And it was poorly done. And we messed up there.
It wasn't broad, though. You had an entire picture breakdown.
And how people interpreted what was written. As I go back and look at it, I was like, yes, I can fully understand the interpretation. There was a lot of detail, lots of pieces, and it wasn't clear about sponsorships and how important sponsorships are. And that created a great deal of angst in the community. And I really apologize for that because, again, I understand why there was the response like that. And it was easy to interpret that way. So for those, to be clear, we have completely pulled back the branded content policy.
But it's still there with the exact same language. What do you mean?
There. So I just wanted to be clear on that. I wanted to apologize. And like as I think Chaos Productions here is, how do you think this would impact LLCS, Super Smash tourneys, or the Streamer Awards? Exactly. Our intent, and when we wrote it, we weren't thinking that we were trying to prohibit the way those things are funded. That's an important part of content, and that's so. One of the questions that Gar talks isn't something similar still in the TOS. I want to go ahead and answer that.
Perfect.
The TOS has wording that, first of all, in terms of changing the TOS, we just can't change the TOS overnight. And the TOS wording is actually much less expansive than what had previously been in our contract. But I still think that some of that wording can be interpreted. And so we're going to go ahead and add some clarifying languages to make it clear that we're not talking about sponsorships. We're supportive of sponsorships. But that's going to be important to get out. Can't do it overnight. But we'll add some words.
That's crucial then, because if you look at the policy, it is only sponsorships. If you go on their terms, it is literally saying, without any misinterpretation, that you may not, the streamer, may not, and then talking about the burned-in ads and all of that. It has nothing to do with ad networks like he's trying to clarify here. So it seems like he's on a totally different level than the actual policy that rolled out then. So this is kind of like what Lud was talking about, which I do agree with, that it was supposed to be for like what Stream Elements, I guess, rolls out with at-scale advertising that they can pump in through streamers. That seems to be like what they're targeting here, but that is not at all what the language reads. This is totally fucking different. So if that's not what they want, they've got to completely like actually rewrite that term, that whole section.
Did not know or trust that the money was going to go to a charity. We do not.
This is the CEO of
Twitch. We're very
Twitch.
Intentional about that. Think that it all needs to be through our platform, Tiltify, and there are other platforms that are used that work within the charity ecosystem. And as we built the charity product, it was not
Woody
to
Robotic,
limit
Pegasus,
some of the other third-party
Skix,
platforms
Nothing,
that are
and
supportive
Monster.
of them. And so it's still something that is something that can be improved, but we're very conscious about improving it when we think that will make a difference in terms of the money going to charity, and not with this focus of needing to use our platform, because ultimately it's about streamers and supporting their ability to support charities, and where does it matter if we do it, okay? Let's see. Carter, can you talk about why Twitch is so averse to simulcasting? I feel this is net positive as Twitch has a better user experience. Most streamers will bring more people here. Carter, I think it's a good question. As you know, we changed our policy there to be more permissive in terms.
Why does it keep lagging?
In terms of the non-web streaming platforms. It's something that we always have to keep an eye on. Right now, we included and retained that prohibition, but I think it is a question that we're always keeping an eye on, because part of this is we want.
Why haven't you answered it yet then?
Growing your audience, and many of you are investing in Twitch, and we want to support your ability to invest in Twitch and grow your audience. That's a big part of what we need to do, is help you grow
That's not what Carter asked.
So let me
What do you
see.
mean?
Change the member creators. I'm gonna go.
What? The question was super simple. Like, why are you against simulcasting? And then this wasn't really an answer to that. Talking about wanting them to invest in Twitch. And like how important it is to grow your brand. That doesn't really answer it. There's no reason why, for example, Ninja, who makes $0 from Twitch, is not an affiliate, not a partner, nothing. There's no reason why he shouldn't be able to simulcast on Twitch and everything else like he has been. There's no reason to take that away. Or anyone else that does what Ninja does. There's really no reason for it. It doesn't make too much sense if you ask me. Thanks to the resub, Jakey, Sigmundo, and Hazel. Yes, there is money, but they don't make money off him. He costs money. Oh, I guess maybe. So I guess like to dissuade him from simulcasting, so he'll like maybe choose Twitch to be a partner again or something, I guess, or people that do that.
Look at it, but we're still very focused that our
I guess
value
maybe
proposition, what we want to drive people to,
because
is
he
to
takes
build
up
community
he does cost
in
money
the
to
live
host.
experience, because I think that is our strength. So let me just see. Can you hear that?
No, you can't simulcast anymore, no matter what, unless you're doing like vertical platforms.
So on
mobiles.
SCU Girl, can you ensure that our affiliates or partner streamers actually stream on a much more regular basis, as opposed to streaming only when they need money? I think one of the things, I'm going to take this as a launching point. I actually think that's what our streamers do. They're about building community. For many of our streamers, this is how they support themselves, and so it is important to them to find a way to fund their life. But I think I can affirmatively say almost everybody, when they start streaming, we often talk about money.
Man, I don't know what is going on with the broadcast here.
They
Jesus.
start because of what you experience when you're in a small community, and the love and feedback you get from the community. And that's why you start. And then for some people, that becomes a career. But I really think that
there's
all
a
of
fly
our
in the
streamers,
background. It's distracting me now.
I've been out talking to a lot of them, and it's very clear to me they are
Landed on his chair.
passionate about their community. It takes a lot of work to stream regularly.
God, there it goes. Son of a bitch.
One of the reasons I was streaming tonight is because I feel like I've made a commitment to stream every Wednesday. And unless there's a very solid reason why I can't, then I'm going to do that. And that's what all of our streamers
Oh my God, there that little bastard is again.
Consistently be here. So let me
Can we ban that fly?
Let's see. Let me go through. I can't get all of them. And
I will say one thing that I appreciate that he does. This is something I don't think Emmett ever did, the previous CEO. At least he goes live on Twitch to try and answer questions. So far, I don't think the answers have necessarily been super clear. Except for the previous one. Like, if he really is trying to say that the whole policy with sponsorship was supposed to be for ad networks as opposed to actual streamer sponsors, then they need to totally rewrite that term in the actual TOS. Because that's not how it reads. It literally specifies you, like the streamer, can't do these things.
Excuse to alleviate culpability. I think that's a fair question. I think one thing that is clear is, and I think this is one of the things that we're dealing with now, is it's important to build trust with the community. And as we...
That's what I'm saying.
Future, I think one of the concern is...
we're way off the mark at the moment.
Our motives. And I understand your question there. And, of course, every time we have a misstep like this, it causes people to question us. So the bottom line is we have to earn your trust.
Mm-hmm.
We have to keep focused, and I understand if someone is like, oh, but you're going to try to sneak it out anyway. I will say one thing. A lot of people comment about folks at Twitch. I've been here 3.5 years, about almost 4 years now, and I will say this about so many people, and this is one of the things that's so special about Twitch, is so many of the people that are at Twitch do bleed purple. They're members of the community. They're passionate about Twitch. They're as frustrated by us as people here. And I do think they are extremely dedicated and committed and care deeply about our creators, and that's why they're working there. and I appreciate what they do for that.
Then let them have a voice
So
of the
they're
company.
getting frustrated. So,
I have
thanks.
never had a bad experience with anyone I've ever talked to at Twitch. Like, for example, Pluto's a fucking angel. Pluto is not in charge of these decisions. In fact, only a month ago, Pluto wasn't even sure if he still had a job there because there's no fucking communication from the higher up at Twitch. So when they're like firing people, it's like a guessing game, right? So give the people who actually know the platform and care about it the power to actually make decisions or chime in on these meetings. Because he's right. There are tons of people at Twitch that legitimately care.
Continues to thrive over time.
100%. He's right.
Let me just see.
But they're not the ones that are making these decisions or have a
just
real
see there's
voice
lot
there, it seems.
Thank you for all the questions, by the way. There are a lot in here, and I can't get to all of them. And in fact, I don't want to spend all my time. I want to go back and forth. So this is what I'm going to do.
Thanks to the reset Fitz, Fang, and
going
Chaos.
To
And
jump
Perseus.
into
And Fishy and
another
John.
song. And thanks for asking again. All right, I'm going to jump into another song, and then I'll just kind of go.
Oh, that's a smart play. Do some karaoke, get everyone DMCA'd in case they're tuning in. Galaxy Brain. I appreciate him at least going live to try and answer questions. I wish the answers were a little better. Yeah, so if the policy is supposed to be only against ad networks, you gotta completely fucking rewrite it. I think it's a load of baloney him saying that, like, you know, we're not gonna sneak anything in. I think that is very clearly wrong when you legitimately just snuck in the simulcasting thing. I didn't see any Twitch tweets about simulcasting or talking about, like, why this simulcasting rule is changing. They just kind of threw that in. I didn't know about it till I watched Ludwig's video, for example. Like, that's not something that they made very clear that was on the way. So, like, fucking jump scared Ninja and everyone else who simulcasts. Then, of course, there's now the new terms that you have to accept, or you go back to affiliate, and if you just let it terminate, you get charged $25. Like, there's a ton of things that came out of nowhere, right? Like, you literally did sneak some shit in, aside from just the branded content policy. And he also didn't answer that question when he was just directly asked, why are you doing that whole hoopla with simulcasting? So, not amazing, but there was an attempt. Jeepers.